All right, let's dive right into this. Today we're looking at a pretty powerful strategic thinking model that comes from the YouTube channel Dark Whisper. And get this, it's a framework that promises to make you more tactical than even a military mind just by using one simple shift in how you think. So it all kicks off with this really provocative idea. The whole point here is that this brain hack can give an ordinary person a real tactical advantage over even the most seasoned experts. And it does this by exploiting a fundamental weakness that all systems share. And what is that weakness? Well, it's predictability. See, the core problem this model points out is that even the most elite minds, we're talking military leaders, CEOs, you name it, they're all trained inside a system. And while that system gives them strength, it also creates a massive vulnerability. That system, well, it basically becomes a cage. Think about it. It's built on all these rules, procedures, and chains of command. Now, you need those things for an organization to work, for sure. But they also create these really predictable patterns. And if you can understand the rules of that cage, you can start to predict the moves of anyone who's inside it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but I'm not a general. This isn't just about military strategy. The argument is that this applies, well, everywhere. Your job, that negotiation you have next week, even your relationships. These are all, in a sense, battlefields where understanding the system gives you a huge advantage. Most people are just reacting to things, and frankly, that's why they lose. And this right here, this shows the difference perfectly. Most of us are reactive followers, right? We play by the rules someone else made. But this mindset, it shifts you into a proactive, unpredictable tactician. You're not just playing the game anymore, you're actually changing the rules of the game itself.
Okay, so what is this secret? And why call it banned? I mean, that's a pretty heavy word. Is it illegal or something? Nope. The idea here is that it's something way more subtle than that.
It's not about being illegal. When they say banned, it's more like a form of social control. You know, it's the kind of knowledge that people in power, whether it's your boss or a politician, would probably rather you didn't have. Because let's be honest, systems run a lot smoother when people are predictable. Schools often teach you to memorize things, not to strategize. Your job tells you to follow the process, not to question it. This kind of thinking, it closes that information gap, and it takes away their biggest advantage, knowing exactly what you're going to do next. So now we finally get to the brain hack itself. It's actually a pretty simple but incredibly powerful model, and it's called layer thinking. This is the core of the entire strategy. So what is it? Well, it's basically a method for seeing past the obvious. Instead of just reacting to what's right in front of your face, you learn to see the hidden motives that are working underneath. And once you see that, you can actually start to engineer what happens next. You go from just being reactive to being in control.
And this is where it gets really interesting, because it breaks down reality into these 3 layers. Most of us, we get stuck on layer 1, the surface. We just take words at face value. Layer 2, that's where you start to ask why. And layer 3, the one most people never even get to, that's where you actually start to take control of what happens next. Let's make this real. Imagine a coworker comes up to you and says, "Hey, I don't think this project of yours is going to work." Okay? The surface reaction, layer 1, is to get angry or defensive, right? But layer thinking pushes you to layer 2. You pause and ask, why are they really saying this? Maybe they're feeling threatened by your success, or maybe they want the project's budget for their own idea. That's the hidden motive. Now you can get to layer 3, engineering the future. You think, okay, how can I use their motive? Maybe you publicly praise their expertise and ask for their advice, which neutralizes them and makes them a part of your success. See? You just turned a threat into an asset.
Okay, that's the theory. But how do you actually turn this into a real, everyday mindset? This is where you build what the source calls your own mental war room.
The whole idea here is to stop putting out fires. A war room is where you win battles before they even begin. So instead of just reacting to problems as they pop up, you're in your own mental command center, planning ahead for every possible scenario. And this is the key tool you use. It's called a decision tree. It's just a mental map of all the possibilities. Okay, if they say yes to my proposal, I'll do this. If they hesitate, I've got a response for that. And if they flat out say no, I have a backup plan. You're never ever caught off guard because you've already thought through every path. So here it is, the whole process in 4 simple steps. First, you pause. Don't just react. Second, ask why twice.
once for the surface reason and again to find that hidden motive. Third, always think at least 3 moves ahead. In this last one, this is huge. Stay invisible. Your greatest power comes from the fact that nobody knows you're thinking this way.
When you really master this, it's not just about winning an argument or a negotiation. It's a fundamental shift in how you operate in the world. You stop being a piece on the chessboard and you become the player who's moving the pieces.
And here's what happens. The entire balance of power shifts. You can start to predict what other people will do, but because you're operating outside of their predictable system, they can't predict you anymore. You become way harder to manipulate, but way better at influencing the outcome.
And a huge part of this is what you might call silent competence. It's not about big, loud victories or needing everyone to give you credit. It's about winning the game quietly, sharply, and a lot of the time, winning battles before they're ever fought out in the open. And really, that's what this all boils down to. This thinking model, it gives you a choice. You can either keep playing by the rules that someone else made for you, or you can start using a different level of thinking to write your own. The system wants you to be predictable. The only real question is, are you ready to be something else?